You're listening to Starship Prog with me, Dave Carmichael, on LCR, Liverpool Community Radio. Hi everyone, welcome on board Starship Prog again. Thank you for all your kind comments, especially about David Allen and Gong. For all you Gong fans, don't forget to go and see them at the Casimir in November. They're on Friday the 3rd of November. They will blow your mind. If you've never seen them, they're a psychedelic pleasure. Today we are setting sail through the world of some prog rock's finest guitar players. This was without doubt one of the toughest voyages so far, and joining me on the bridge is my stowaway, Tony Alliston from Body. Recently we lost a prog rock icon, a fantastic innovative bass player, probably the most influential bass player in prog rock history. Of course, I'm talking about the founder member of Yes, Chris Squire. Chris was unique in his lead bass style, and the only ever present musician with Yes. As a tribute to Chris, and in keeping with the guitarist theme, a track from his collaboration with ex-Genesis guitarist and brilliant solo star Steve Hackett is a track I've got to play. It's from their 2012 Squack It album. This is the title track. It's a track called A Life Within a Day. Hope you enjoy this.
Community Radio,
Funny, Michael.
www.l-c-r.co.uk.
You're listening to Starship Prog with me, Dave Carmichael, on LCR, Liverpool Community Radio. Hope you enjoyed that as much as we did here on the bridge. It's live radio for you, me messing around with mics.
I'm on.
So, Tony, what do you think of that then? What's your take on Steve Hackett and Squire?
I must admit, I did like that track. And it's good to see Steve Howell going onto the dark side. Well, Mr. Hackett. No, it's really, really good. I must admit, I'm going to get a copy of that. Well, you're going to do me a copy of it.
No.
Obviously, Steve Hackett has always been one of my favourite guitarists anyway. I just love his sound and his reverbs and, you know, the intensity. And I'm glad it's quite a recent album now, because it makes it really encouraging. Hackett's still doing a bit.
Well, he's been doing the Genesis reunion stuff.
I know he did that.
It's got a new album. I think it's called Wolfbane or Wolfblood or something. I can't remember. I should do, and I'll have to smack my hands later.
Yes.
One of the things Steve Hackett sort of pioneered was the use of guitar synthesizers, and I know you're a big advocate of those. For our listener, if you're out there still, can you tell us a bit about guitar synths and how they work and why you love them?
There's different types. I mean, the first one I had was the GR300 Roland, which is like a 24-pin lead. You used to go into the guitar, and it's just giving like moogie sounds and that. You could turn strings on and off. But later I got a Casio guitar, which is a MIDI guitar which you could plug into any tone generator and play keyboards, saxophones and all that. And the one I've got now is the Roland GR20. Roland must love me. I hope they give me a free one. The GR20, which you can still do the same, saxophones and all that again, but it obviously goes straight from the guitar, straight into the pedal, and I bet no one understands a word of that, what I just said then.
Well, it's basically turning the guitar into a multi-instrument, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So effectively you've got a keyboard on your strings.
And playing your favourite guitar.
Do you ever remember that thing that Godley and Cream did, was it? The Gizmo?
The Gizmo. I tried one of them in the studio when we were doing the Body album.
Right.
Cargo Studios, yeah. They're brilliant. Just stick it on the string and it just permanently sustains the string.
Right.
Never put 70 quid they were.
Right. I heard of them. I never actually had to go with one or whatever. But as usual, we digress.
It's a bit like the voice box, isn't it?
Peter Frampton job.
Well, no, yeah.
What I want to do now, I want to talk about a guitarist that I couldn't possibly leave off my show, a multi-talented musician called Steve Howe. A little bit about Steve. He joined Yes in 1971, replacing the late Peter Banks. Aside from Yes, Steve also formed a band, a super group, so to be, called Asia, with Jeff Downes from the Buggles and Yes, Carl Palmer, VLP, and John Wetton, who played for King Crimson, and lots of other people, Roxy Music, Uriah Heep. He also formed a super group with Steve Hackett called GTR, and released a number of solo albums. He also played session stuff for the likes of Frankie Goes to Hollywood. He played on the Welcome to the Pleasure Dome album. And as far as I know, he's the only other guitarist who's ever played on a Queen album. He actually plays on the track Innuendo, the classically bit, which is, it's quite a thing to have on your guitar CV, really.
My favourite Queen album.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Mine's Night of the Opera.
Well, I'm never a big Queen fan, but I thought Innuendo was an excellent album.
Yeah. One of the things with Steve is he has multi-styles. I mean, a lot of his stuff was very sort of classical. There'd be stuff which was pretty much hard rock, really. You would never know what you're going to get with Steve Howe. But one of his major influences in the early years was a country and western guitarist called Chet Atkins. And he has had a major influence on a lot of his styles. Now, what I'm going to do is play a bit of, not an obscure track, a track from the Yes album, but a different version of it. This one's an acoustic version from Steve's solo album from 2001, an album called Natural Timber. Steve plays mandolins, banjos, guitars. His sax talent makes you a bit sick. For anyone who's a fan of the Yes, you'll probably find yourself singing along to this. We'll all become John Anderson for the day. This is from the 1971 classic Yes album. This is a track called Your Move.
Viva the Radio Revolution. The world is waiting. The revolution will not be televised. It's happening online. LCR, Liverpool Community Radio, www.l-c-r.co.uk.
Sup up your beer and collect your face. There's a row going on down near Slough.
You're listening to Starship Prog with me, Dave Carmichael, on LCR, Liverpool Community Radio. I hope you all enjoyed that as much as I did. Become a John Anderson in the studio here, just while the mic was off. Otherwise, the winners have been getting smashed, no doubt. Tony, Steve Howe, what do you reckon?
Oh, he was an absolutely great player. I mean, what I loved about Steve Howe was, his plectrum technique and his fingers. You can tell he's got a lot of jazz influences. The way he could hit every note. You didn't know you always needed an effect. You could hit every single note and it sounded. And I do admire him for that, He's never one of my favourite guitarists, but I always admired him as a guitarist. Because I was never a big Yes fan, really.
Oh,
I should have said that, shouldn't I?
Well, I know a guitarist that you are a fan of. This is a good link, isn't it? Eh? Dave Gilmour, Pink Floyd.
Never heard of him.
Tell us why he ticks the boxes for you.
He ticked the boxes because at that time his feel was always there, but I always liked the way he used effects, and because I was always into the spacey sort of guitar, and he was the first guy that really done it for me. Obviously not a great technical guitarist, but he always had sounds, he always had the latest things that were going on, and it was such an easy influence. And even today I still love playing that sort of stuff, because I like the early Pink Floyd rather than the later Pink Floyd, and people would rather have the later Pink Floyd than the early Pink Floyd. But he was a big influence, definitely.
Yeah, I know one of his biggest influences was the Beatles, because they learnt every track, the guitar, remember?
There you go.
But they influenced everyone, didn't he?
Absolutely, absolutely brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, we had quite a few chats before the programme about which Gilmour track to play, and after A Duel at Dawn, you wanted a fantastic track from The Wall, Comfortably Numb, to be played. And as a true gentleman and as captain of this Starship, I couldn't allow a mutiny. Instead, I've chosen a track from their 7th album, an album which is originally called Le Valley, a French film. The album, when it was released, there were some rare copies which have a different title to the one we used to, which was called The Valley. This is a track which was a single in America, and it was actually one of the first Floyd single I ever bought, actually. This track was released as a single, as I said, from America, from the 1972 album Obscured by Clouds. And this demonstrates a combination of his brilliant lead style and acoustic styles for me. And it's nice and catchy. And for all you listeners out there, or listener, hope you enjoy this. Greg will enjoy this, and no one else.
1, 2, 3, 4. His old age are the deeds of a man in his prime. You shuffle in the gloom of the sick room and talk to yourself as you die. And life is a short, warm moment, and death is a long, cold rest. Get your chance to try in the twinkling of an eye. 80 years with luck or even less. So all aboard for the American tour, and maybe you'll make it to the top. But mind how you go, and I can tell you 'cause I know you may find it hard to get off. Shuffle in the gloom of the sick room and talk to yourself as you die.
Right, put the mix. You're listening to Starship Prog with me, Dave Carmichael, on LCR, Liverpool Community Radio. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. Bit of an obscure track from Obscure by Clouds.
Very good.
Which was their 7th album. Their 8th album was Dark Side of the Moon. So it just shows you how having a record label, having a bit of patience with a band can sort of draw dividends, really, rather than this sort of 1 or 2 album lifespan.
In those days, didn't they?
They had to. Tony, you as a guitarist, obviously you've listened to loads of prog over the years, but which guitarist is your favourite, if you like, which sort of inspired you?
Well, still Gilmour, isn't it? But the thing is, it's been a few, hasn't it? Andy Latimer, Camel. I mean, totally underrated, I think.
Yeah.
You know, even Jeff Beck. You know, but he was never a big influence on me, but I just loved the way he played and his feel. He just touched the guitar and the sound. It was absolutely brilliant. And in the early days, you had people like Richie Blackmore.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, Richie Blackmore was an excellent guitarist. You know,
he always cited his biggest guitar influence was Jan Ackerman of Focus.
Well,
and he he was inspired to adapt some of his styles, I think.
Yeah, I can understand that, playing that sort of clean sound. Yeah, but I think Robert Fripp is the most innovative guitar player there ever was, really, because he just did weird things that no other guitarist did.
Yeah.
You know, and his little fills. I mean, the guy is a genius, really. But I wish he was still doing it now.
But they are touring, aren't they?
They are touring, but it's not the same. It's in the early days, Fripp was a huge influence, I think. You know.
I think you can hear his influences. I mean, Peter Gable's third album, with tracks like No Self-Control and Intruder and that, he put a menace into those tracks. When he played with Bowie on Scary Monsters, Super Creeps,
absolutely.
If you really listen to that on headphones, the stars there's off-tuners, there's jazz bits and bobs. It's all over the place. It's brilliant.
Well, Fashion, I mean, it's in the track Fashion.
Yeah.
I mean, he went to the studio, he'd hardly ever heard the track and just did his own thing. And his guitar playing, I mean, I learned his guitar playing to that track. And when you learn what he's doing, it's so quirky the way he's playing it. And this was coming off the top of his head. It was absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
The guy is quirky.
Unfortunately, I played Robert Fripp's some King Crimson stuff. I think it was on one of my previous shows, so he's not scheduled today. As Andy Latimer, Camel, played some of their stuff on
if
the
you want
last
to hear
show.
him at his best, if you listen to Ice by Camel, Latimer on that is brilliant. The whole build, and he did it live in the studio.
Yeah, I remember the first album I really got into theirs was Snow Goose, which I thought was a fantastic album. It should have been up there with Wish You Were Here as a classic album in a lot of people's eyes, because it was something special.
I think if they had a great singer, Camel, they would have been bigger than what they were.
A lot of bands were like that, though, weren't they?
Yeah.
Because the guitarist or the keyboard player, they were musicians and the singers sort of afterthought, and it's difficult, really.
Well, they let the music do the talk, and that's the thing at the end of the day. But you can always improve something, can't you?
Absolutely. I mean, one of the things I found, some of the feedback I've been getting on Facebook and just from friends and other musicians, is they found the program very interesting because they've never really thought it through with what prog rock really is. Progressive rock, in a lot of people's eyes, really means music without constraint. There's no time limits. That's why you would have 10, 15, 20-minute tracks. No barriers. Fusing all sorts of styles, from jazz to classical, folk, pop, rock, everything. It's really, really interesting music. It's the unpredictability, which a lot of the guitarists, I mean, obviously they'll play melody lines, but a lot of the guitarists sort of bring that to the fore, so to speak. So when we last had you on board, we've always discussed a number of your favourite players. I'm going to play a track by someone who shared billing with you and your band at a festival some years ago. This is a hippie from Gong, who's a fantastic guitar player in my opinion. This is from a 1977 album, Motivation Radio, and the track is called Hello Dawn.
The new sound of the city, LCR, Liverpool Community Radio, www.l-c-r.co.uk.
You're listening to Starship Prog with me, Dave Carmichael, on LCR, Liverpool Community Radio. Hi, welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that. We were buzzing on that one as well. Tony, you mentioned something a minute ago.
Well, absolutely. I mean, I haven't heard that track for a long time. It was great to hear it, because we're talking about guitar synths before, and he was the first guy I saw. He had a little plinth, and he had this little unit on top of his... and he was the first guy to actually use a synthesized sort of sound. But I never found out exactly what he used. You know, that's not my mobile, by the way.
No, I think we're not quite as soundproof as I wanted.
Yeah, so Steve Hillage, and I love the way he used the echoes as well, 'cause I've always been into that, using echoes. You know, and...
You played a number of festivals with Steve Hillage was actually on the bill. Tell us a bit about festivals, you know, some of your experiences that you're allowed to, just in case there's any children listening, or any of my mates, basically.
Well, the festivals in those days were great. I mean, he built a stage, and everyone just turned up. You find out there's this festival happening, you just turn up and play, and they're so disorganised. It's fun in a funny sort of way, and it is absolutely brilliant. Laugh to do it, And this was the Deeply Vale Festival, and went on for 3 years, 3 or 4 years.
It's a long festival, that.
Yeah, no, but the stuff was good anyway. And the first one was all right, and the second it got bigger and bigger, and I think Steve Hillage played on the third one, I think, and we're all on the same bill. I think Susie and the Banshees was on one of them as well. And yeah, it was good. It was good. It's a great vibe. I know it'll never happen again. You never saw toilets. But it was great when you used to be playing the drums and someone used to come on with a bong and just stick it in your mouth, then go off again and just carry on playing. It's quite extraordinary, really.
Well, talking of festivals, my band The Negs played Newsham Park Festival, so thanks for everyone who turned up. We really enjoyed it, and didn't get pelted with eggs this time, so it must have gone down okay. Looking at, there's a lot of newer musicians, if newer musicians is a legal word, making my own language up now, folks. But one of my favourite sort of new wave prog guitarists, if you like, musicians, is a chap called Steve Wilson. He has a band called Porcupine Tree.
Underrated.
Massively underrated. Steve's been very prolific with his work, his output. It's quite incredible, really. Aside from making about 13 albums or so with Porcupine Tree, he's had numerous solo projects. He's also been in bands like No Man and Blackfield, which excellent stuff. He's also been commissioned to remaster a number of classic prog albums, including the 40th year anniversary of King Crimson's Court of Crimson King.
Very good.
Number of the Yes back catalogue, including the Yes album, Fragile, Close to the Edge. I'm not sure if he's done Topographic, but I know the most recent one that's come out was Going for the One and Relayer. He's also worked with Scandinavian bands like Opeth. So everything's it's been really, really prolific. What I want to do now is I want to play one of his early tracks, which is from I think it's their first album, actually, On a Sunday of Life. This is a track which the album was actually classed as a masterpiece of psychedelia by The Times, or one of the upmarket papers. But let's see what you think of this. This is a track called Nine Cats, personal favourite.
Butterflies sail on the breeze, past a field of barbed wire trees, where golden dragons chased around, pampered puppies on the ground. Two silver trout sat way on high and watched a royal samurai and two black orchids in a box and strap it to a laughing fox. A minstrel bought a crooked spoon. He gave it to a blue baboon, who filled it full of virgin snow and wandered in the afterglow. Stood in inspirations, teaching 16 kangaroos how to skip across a lane. They found it hard to stay awake. watch night cats dance on the moon. I didn't know what all this meant. I didn't know I was sent.
The new sound of the city, LCR, Liverpool Community Radio, www.l-c-r.co.uk.
You're listening to Starship Prog with me, Dave Carmichael, on LCR, Liverpool Community Radio. Hi everyone, I hope you enjoyed that. A little bit different, cracking band Porcupine Tree. I've had the pleasure of seeing them twice in Manchester. Hopefully one day they'll come over here. An interesting choice on his album, what he's doing now, because I know he's been touring South America and playing in front of 80,000 people, all told. His actual bass player is Nick Begg. You know, the guy, Kakajuju, whatever they're called. I can never pronounce that.
Yeah, the guy with the earrings.
Yeah, and the ponytails. Yeah. But he's a phenomenal bass player.
Oh, he was good then.
Yeah, yeah. He's the main driving force. I didn't realise until... It's funny how you revisit things, isn't it, when you suddenly think, hang on, you start playing bass. Aside from that, one of the things which I would like to ask you is, if you were to have your own festival and you had to choose 3 guitar players to form the crux of
a super group?
Well, possibly, or separately, where they'd have their own sort of established band. But who would you have?
I'd have Robert Fripp, Jimi Hendrix.
All right.
And possibly, it's a tough one, Andy Latimer.
Right, great choice.
Yeah,
you can't really fault them. I mean, one of the hardest things about doing this program is actually deciding which guitar players not to play rather than who to play.
Well, that's it. No, you try and look at diversities. I mean, a lot of guitars can be similar, but those 3 are very different, aren't they, from each other?
Yeah.
So they give a bit of everything, really.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to have Gilmour. Again, you sort of think, well, would I go for such predictability, really? And I probably would in that case. I would have to have Gilmour playing some stuff. Jimmy Page, another guitarist.
He was very close there, Jimmy Page.
Yeah.
Very close.
You're nearly growling at me for saying that now, aren't you? I mean, most of the guitarists I've wanted to see, I've seen. I've been lucky in that respect. But for a bit of diversity, I'd probably go for a jazz guitarist like Stanley Jordan, because I know it's a prog program, but I mean, he's a gobsmacking guitar player. What I want to do now, we're going to play a track that illustrates some of your influences, a body track called Cheetah. Tell us a bit about it.
Well, Cheetah, well, Body were a very melodic sort of band, and we very rarely did an out-and-out rock track, really. And I remember one day I had loads of these little runs in my head, guitar runs, and I was sitting in Gary's front bedroom downstairs, and someone come up with these runs, and they started created this song, and Gary got a hold of it as well and wrote the lyrics to it, and Gary actually sung it as well. And by the way, Gary wrote some very good lyrics. very good lyrics. And it's about cheating, which means what it says, really. It's about a man and a woman. She leaves him, she's cheated on him. She's taken his money, taken his car, and all that's left is a picture stood in a frame by the phone.
Did she take his guitar as well?
No, I'd take a pair of drumsticks.
There you go, Gary. Right, well, I'm going to play this track now. I hope you all enjoy it. One little side, if they want to get their hands on the Body album,
Right, good question.
Go to you.
Well, please don't go to Amazon or any of the websites. If you really want the album, because we're not getting the royalties we should be getting off it, and if you could ring us on two numbers, I'll give you two numbers that you could ring us on. It's 0151 924 6203 or 0151 284 5388. Ring us, the money be going to the band rather than people trying to get their little percentages off us. So please don't go to the website to buy it. Ring those numbers and we'll look after you.
I hope you haven't given out the
And we'll
Samaritas
sign,
numbers then.
we'll sign it as well.
Very good.
There you go.
Well, there you go. There you go, guys. Right, here we go. Hope you enjoy this. It's a brilliant track. You're listening to Starship Prog with me, Dave Carmichael, on LCR, Liverpool Community Radio. Hi everyone, hope you enjoyed that. That was from the Body album.
Very good, Dave, very good.
You had a couple of people, famous musicians like that one, didn't you? Who was it you were saying like that? Andy? OMD?
Oh, Andy, of course, Andy McCluskey. Yeah, that was Andy McCluskey's favourite track. When he used to come and watch us live. I think it was Stairways Over the Water, or the Galleries we call them. And he'd come and say, oh yeah, I like that track, I really like that one. And it was a popular track because it was slightly out the norm from what we were doing.
Yeah.
We'd have like a long 12, 15 minute spacey track, then put Cheetah in, which is refreshing, you know.
Definitely.
And it's one of my favourite tracks, really, because there's a lot in it, you know.
Yeah. Well, folks, we're nearly finished now on the programme. I'm going to wind up by playing a more contemporary prog guitarist from a band called Marillion. Most people think of Marillion as the lineup with Fish singing, but this is a track without him, with Steve Hogarth singing and Steve Rothsey on guitar. This is a track called Cover My Eyes. Hope you enjoyed the show, and I'm sure you're going to love this one because it's brilliant.
That he couldn't